Welcome to Can Angels Fly? I'm Nancy, and tonight I'm out here under the stars near my campfire, just wanting to talk to you. So now I like to talk about encounters with angels. Several years back, I had a encounter with an angel, and I share this because it was real, real. The only challenge that or concern I had with my encounter with this angel was that I was asleep. I will honestly say I was completely asleep. With that said, now I'll share my encounter with an angel to the best of my ability. As I mentioned, it was several years back. One evening when I go to sleep, I am transported to a field. Imagine a picture in an art gallery. There is a background, that mid-section in the forefront. The background of the scene where I was transported was a field, beautiful field. I mean, it was like this landscape with this road that traveled back off into the distance with a meadow on each side, and there were hues of yellows and greens, and I think there was a little purple in this scene that went back as far as like the eye could see. It was just a beautiful meadow. I heard about people that take, I think it's called DMT, and when they have this psychedelic kind of experience, they experience unusual or unknown colors to this physical realm. It was those kind of yellows and greens and purples, and it was amazing. It was really, really brilliant and bright, and that's why I bring up the comparison with a picture in the art gallery. The brilliance that many artistic geniuses have come up with is the best analogy for this video. So the expanse went off into the distance. Now, the foreground. I was transported into the scene, like in the foreground of the image. And what descended before me was an angel. This angel was African American. Now, I'm not saying all angels are African American. The one that came to visit me was. And that could have something to do with my level of consciousness. The angel was, and for the rest of this video, it may sound a bit sexualized in this physical plane and our physical understanding and the way words limit how we can express ourselves, especially when it has to do with unusual experiences. So it will seem fairly sexualized, but for every moment that you began to feel that it's sexualized, I need you to pull to the total opposite side, because it was not at all. Now, this African American angel was male. He had to be about 8 feet tall, physically fit, very small waist, hips, basically the six-pack, a soft six-pack, and he had I don't know what you call it, like a skirt, a white skirt on with the gold belt or something like that, and was draped, and he had wings at one time, but I don't remember them at certain times. He did have wings. I remember when, like, he left, but during our encounter, I don't really recall them. He had very, very long dreads, beautiful, and like I said, it was a spiritual experience. Yet I'm in a physical realm, so everything was heightened, is what I'm saying. So even his dreads was like clean. I mean, they were clean, and that's what I want you to do. Like I said, even though a lot of it is, what I'll share with you is like sexual or sexualized in a physical plane because of our lower existence kind of thing and our, mindsets. It was clean. Everything was just clean. He was clean. A very handsome, attractive individual, but I would say clean. Clean. Like I said, the dreads hung way down to his waist, all the way around, just hung, and they were neatly like parted. And he had this wrapping like skirt kind of thing on, kilt or whatever you want to call it, like a white, pure white linen, and it was draped down with the gold belt or whatever it was like. And he was just clean. Everything from fingernails, everything was clean and whole, whole. And so I'm standing in the very forefront of the scene, and he descends behind me, which will be beginning to go into the middle part of the picture. So I want you to have this picturesque kind of view. And he descends down. He never touches the ground. Never. That was one of the things that, was interesting. He never touched the ground. As if this earth was too filthy for him to touch. Period. And so what he did was like hold his hand out to me. And I just like kind of levitated off the ground into his arms. And he crossed them around me like this. So I'm laying on like, oh. And the moment that he reached down and I levitated, to him, and he wraps his arms around me, I suddenly experienced completeness, fullness, cleanliness, wholeness. I'll say this from the experiences I have had in the spiritual world. It revealed to me just how limited language is. Period. So it would anything I talk about when I talk about the spiritual world would never do it any justice. I was whole. I was whole. And I was so whole to the point when it was time for me to go back, I didn't want to go back. And so I recall people that talk about near-death experiences, those kind of things. I'd be like, I don't want to go back. They'd be like, you got to go back. They'd be like, I don't want to go back. Because it is a state of wholeness. I mean, can you stop and think about what it is to be whole? Not to be worried, not to be fearful, not to have any longings, not to have any regrets, no fear, no nothing. No aches, no pains, no nothing. Just whole and complete. Whole and complete. Nothing missing. Anyway, I couldn't tell you what he talked to me about as he embraced me. He was talking to me. What he was talking about, I don't know. If you find my video called Can You Sell Your Soul to the Devil? And I talk about that encounter, I told you I couldn't tell you now what the conversation was about. What the terms and conditions were in full, I can't recall. Same thing with the encounter with the angel. I can't tell you what he was saying, but I can tell you what else I experienced or what else I felt. Like I said, it was this wholeness. Now, this is when it gets really, really sexualized, and I want you to pull back from the eroticism or sexual, thought or feeling, because, like I said, the languages that we have on this earth are so limited. They can express truly spiritual experiences. As this angel held me, raptured, and I was there. Just like how you lay your head on your chest or your father or something, It was safe. It was like this safe haven of completeness and wholeness. But it had another level to it, y'all. It had a whole nother level to it. The best way I can describe it by the experiences here on this physical plane is an orgasm. Without the final outcome, that animalistic need or desire to have that all-out orgasm and release. but it was similar, quite similar to the climbing, the escalation to the climax. So in his presence, that's what I experienced. It was this soaring, and then this leveling out of a organ 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 what orgasm orgasmatic state. I think I said it right. And it was just this. The best word I can say is stay, still, ride the wave, and it was straight, clear, full vibration. There was no final outcome. It was not a desired final outcome. It was just full and complete. It was the true state of ecstasy. That's why I didn't want to go. It was fulfilling, you know? And to have to come back to this physical plane and deal with the here. Oh, so sad. As I as he finished saying whatever he was saying to me, again, I don't recall. He says, now you have to go back. Go back? No, I want to be here, right here. I want to go wherever you are going. I don't want to go back there. He says, no, you gotta stay. You you gotta stay. And so I'm like, no, I'm ready to argue with him. No, you know. And it was this release from the rapture, you know. And he descends me or drops me back down, or basically, I mean, everything was clean. Everything was soft. Everything was easy, you know. It was no rush. It was no pressure. There was no nothing except until he told me I had to go back. Then I was really, really upset, y'all. Anyway, he set me back down into the foreground of this beautiful, picturesque DMT kind of experience in this field in the foreground, and he left, and he left me. Now, why he left me, I don't know. But after that experience, I mean, it just started wearing off where I'm sitting up waiting for him to come back. You know, I wait. I wait. I no longer uh, feel his presence. For a long time after that, I felt that the presence, not so much of him, but of the energy he embodied, you know, that state of ecstasy, pure ecstasy, pure completeness. My question to you, viewer, have you ever had an experience with an angel? And if so, what was your experience like? Please share your experience. Thank you for visiting me this evening under the stars. If you'd like to order your own personal Terrascope reading with me, Nancy, all you have to do is contact me at my email. My email is canangelsfly1 at gmail.com. Until next time, bye.